5 tabs open every morning. One for Gmail personal, one for the agency, DigiNav and a catch-all, my calendar, the tasks. Oh, and then I have Notion, 6 tabs every morning. Context switching at its finest. And sometimes I even have the Notion app open on my MacBook. And it's like a scattered mess, right? I built a system several different times, have all the productivity apps, but each one would maybe last a week, a month, and then it would just quickly get abandoned. The organization of it was fine, but I stopped opening it because it caused me stress to try and make it perfect, to fit my workflow. Figuring out what actually mattered today was the easy part. Getting all the finer details that were scattered everywhere else was what was causing the angst or the stress. So I was manually stitching together all these different apps to make it work for what I needed to. And then one day I just said, I'm going to stop trying to make everybody else's system work for me and build my own. And luckily now with the AI, the vibe coding and the technology that's out there, you can too. You don't have to be a developer, a coder, a tech genius to make this happen. So let's talk about my dashboard and give you some ideas for your own. And here's the pattern that I kept seeing in my own workflow, in conversations with other business owners. You find tools that are almost right. Almost right. Notion data's organization is good. Google Workspace handles email and calendars perfectly. So you try to make them work together. You build a dashboard, you set up filters, and for a while, it feels like progress. Then you stop opening it, not because the system was bad, but because it wasn't yours or something was slightly off. It was someone else's structure with your data poured into it. The problem isn't discipline, it's fit. So I asked myself this one question: what does my morning actually need? Is it another productivity app, another tracker? Not what template I should be using, but how does my day actually start off? I don't want to say more productive, but flow a little easier. What would make my day feel more like my day? Okay, so this is what I built. It's the AI Chief of Staff dashboard. It connects to the tools that I'm already using, my Google Workspace accounts, Google Tasks, and Google Drive, as well as Calendar. It pulls everything into one screen, and it kind of gives me an overview so I know what I'm working with without being bogged down in minutia. So let's take a look. So the email highlights. Over here, the unread counts display from 3 sources: my personal inbox, my agency inbox, and then the Substack folders. Each one has a triage link that opens right into the Google Gmail view. So if I click on triage, it automatically opens up in a different task. And that is so that I don't have to have a bunch of tabs open, or so that I have to take the time to go and open it up and figure out where I need to be. I'm not reading the emails right now that are in there. I am just right now getting a glance of what's in there and should I have to give it my attention. Right now there's 3, 1, and 8. There's probably nothing pressing in there, but if it were 30, 10, and 80, I would know something needs to be triaged, right? And so that's when I can pick what and when I want to triage. So the second thing is the calendar. Now, this calendar here pulls in from Google Calendar. It is not designed to be another display of the calendar, right? Because this part here, which I'll show you in a few minutes, takes care of that. This is so that I can open my calendar very easily if I need to, and add something to a date should I need to block some time or just kind of get a glance of what's going on for the rest of the week. Maybe I have a break time or some downtime. And then finally, the tasks. So the tasks pull from Google Tasks. What's due today, what's overdue. I can create new ones right here just by clicking and then adding the pertinent information. It is set to refresh every 5 minutes so that if tasks are added, either if emails are added or tasks are added, then I don't have to go and keep refreshing it. It does it automatically. And then finally, the quick capture. So the quick capture is for brain dumps. It goes straight to a document in Google Drive with auto headers that are the date. When I have an idea that hits or there's something that I need to get out of my head to keeping on, I type it in here if I'm working in the dashboard. If I happen to be working on a document, I can have that open and then just add it. It doesn't have to be in the dashboard, and that's the beauty of it, is with the Google API, it's push and pull. Push meaning that anything I put in here gets sent to there. Pull means anything that's there gets put onto the dashboard. So let's see how I need to move on with my day. Here's the part that make the chief of staff more than just a dashboard. It is this section here with today's rhythm. So normally if it's at the beginning of the day, there's a big button that says build my rhythm. It takes everything that you just saw, the calendar events, the obligations that I have on my calendar, the email counts, tasks that I have current or in the future or even past, brain dump data, my weekly priorities, which I call my weekly 5, and it sends it all to Claude via an API. And then what it does is it runs through a prompt and it comes back with the rhythm system. So one thing to note is that it can work with any API if you have a different AI of choice or that you prefer, you can hook it up through that API and create the prompt based on that. So it's not Claude specific. And it is when you run through the API, it does cost additional. I have my subscription for Claude, which is X amount of dollars a month, $20 a month for most people. The API is additional on top of that, but it's really inexpensive. Now, I've been running it for probably a week now and have done a massive amount of testing. And I think right now I'm at 38 cents. So it's literally pennies a day to run. So it's not like it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars on top of that. But what else it does is it works with my system. So I'm not a big time block fan, but I do like the time blocking, like setting aside blocks of time to do work, but not necessarily time blocking. I know it doesn't make any sense, but just bear with me, right? And the reason why is each section has a purpose. It has a start time, it has an end time, it's color coded by category, creative blocks, or when my energy is at its highest, which is usually in the morning. Admin and emails is when it's not. So at late morning, early afternoon. Think of it like a true chief of staff, right? A chief of staff would review everything that you have, your calendar, your commitments, your schedule for the day, when you're available. And he or she knows your rhythm, when you're at your best, when you're at your worst, and kind of helps you filter through your day. And this is basically the same thing. It's handing you an itinerary for what needs to happen in your day, structured for you before you finish that first cup of coffee. And really, it is for the pennies a day that it costs, it is well worth the investment. Now, how did I build this thing? So I want to be honest, I've worked in the WordPress space for a long time and with websites for 17 years. So I could have taken the traditional route, mapped out the architectural docs, the wireframes, and did all the planning. But that's the exact cycle that kind of got me here and that I wanted to break. So I knew that I wanted to use Claude and Claude Code and Cursor. So Claude handled the reasoning, right? We did the thinking of it. This is where I'm stuck. This is my friction points. This is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I have at my fingertips. And then it also helped with the planning. Claude Code wrote the actual application code. So basically, what happened was I went to Claude and I said, here's what I want to do. I'm going to be using Claude Code, and I'm also going to be putting this in Vercel, which is a hosting, so that I could have it in the different browsers and not just on one device. And then it gave me the exact prompts. Here's what you need to tell it to build. And while it did, it wrote the application code in a matter of a short time, not even an hour, right? And then I use Cursor to keep everything in one place. The build took days, not weeks. But here's what mattered. The hardest part wasn't the coding, because basically it was done for you. The hardest part was knowing what to include and what not to include and not making it perfect the very first time. So I know that there are going to be 3 phases to this. So phase 1 is this, the dashboard as it is now, the MVP, the simplest version. Phase 2 is where I'm going to start adding in a lot of the automation and hooking it up with the database. And then phase 3 will be the refinement and thinking about what I can add to it going forward. So it's not just let's build this thing and we'll be done. My friction list, my energy patterns, my actual workflow, how I want AI to handle certain things, what I need to handle on my own. That was step 1, right? Defining all of those needs and parameters. So if you've ever written a brief for a contractor or a project, here's what I need, here's how it will work, here's what matters and why it is, you already have the skills to do that. You can make this happen just as easily as I did. So if you want to build something tailored on how you work, it starts with 3 steps, right? The first is your friction point. Step 1 is to make your friction list, not a feature list. What's slowing you down? Where are you forgetting to check? What's falling through the cracks? That's your blueprint. Step 2 is to keep everything that has gotten you to this point that has worked and replace what doesn't. Step 3 is to let AI build it for you. You bring the clarity about your workflow. You tell it about your needs and what you want it to include, and the AI will handle the technical translation. My dashboard won't look like yours, and it shouldn't, right? Maybe you need more client base, client deadlines, or your next content calendar. Maybe you need a little simpler. You just need your top 3 priorities and today's schedule, visible in the moment that you open the browser on whatever device you're on. Whatever it is, start with your friction list. That's the thing that you need to solve. What's not working? What are you stitching together every morning that's causing you stress? Yeah, I'm still building mine. Phase 1 is shipped, and I can already see that there are tweaks that need to happen before we even move on to phase 2. Tailored isn't one and done. It evolves because the work does. If you're sitting on a version of this problem, tools that almost work, systems that you keep rebuilding or abandoning, mornings that start scattered and throw you off for the whole day, drop a comment and tell me what's on your friction list, because that's where it all starts. In order to build, we need to build better. And to build better, we need to know what the problem is to begin with. So there you have it. My dashboard phase 1. I will keep updating you as I reiterate and test and continue to move this process forward. But if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe so you can see what happens between this and phase 2. And I'll see you in the next video.